Here we've got an incredible panel of experts that are going to dive deeper into the world of financing and bank financing, et cetera. David, if the bond company feels that they're getting in trouble during the course of production, right. In other words, the overages are spinning out of control or whatever, what kind of things can they do to protect themselves?
They can do a lot of things. Like I mentioned before, when I say that they could push Nick aside and say, we're taking over the production, they could decide that, I don't know how often this happens, but they could actually fire the director and bring in a new director if they felt like that was the situation.
I would say more often than not, what hits my desk are fanciful proposals from people that don't have experience in film and TV, and I usually find myself telling my clients that 98% this is not going to happen.
If we're looking at a finished film, then it's a very straightforward process because you'll watch the film will speak for itself, and you have an immediate sense of whether this film would fit within the slate, and basically we can run our numbers on that immediately and come up with what we think a game plan would be for the film.
I remember reading articles, okay, DVD is going to be replaced by VOD or whatever streaming would be available. That doesn't seem to be the case. So my concern is, will the replacement actually take place?
I mean, when you look in your own home, which is what I often do, I just want to see what my kids are doing. I mean, our pattern in our home, probably similar to others, is if it's a new release, the kids will rent it for $5.99. So that's replaced the DVD experience.
Right.
I'm very, very pleased to talk about what we're going to go forward on the U.S. and some of the international jurisdictions that give the best production incentives for all of you right now.
We've had 58 projects that have been selected to receive a reservation of credits for the first year, 37 television projects, and 21 feature films. The demand, as usual in California, has always been great and continues to be great. We got 518 applications.
In other states that we've talked about, it's the time value, how long does it take to get your money back, and that's important to know too, because it's not just the credits, it's about what they apply to. In California, these credits that we're discussing are called below-the-line credits.
We're seeing more states going to California, Georgia, states like Massachusetts and Illinois, and also even smaller states like Alabama, where they have a rebate program. But it just varies also on the type of project.
You want to find money, and you want to make product. So I'm going to talk about Louisiana, but I'm going to do things in Tarzan tone to make it simpler. Louisiana, bad. Massachusetts, good. Georgia, good, like Cheetah. If you don't have a big cast and you're a low-budget indie filmmaker, if that's what you are here, but when you're a low-budget movie and you have limited opportunities to pay those monies, you have to think outside the box. I'm here to tell you that you can't just look at tax incentives, because I'm about making movies. You have to look at them and what comes with them.
The state of California has a really great record in terms of getting your money, because if you're an independent and you can transfer those credits, as soon as you're done, you've created your final element, you've created your DCP. Okay, costs qualify 1 month after that, and then nothing qualifies. So you basically can put all your papers together, go through your audit process. When we get it, we guarantee we will turn it around within a month. Usually it's 2 weeks.
What is going to make your film stand out in the great sea of all the other independent films that are out there? More and more what's important when I ask people is, how are you going to market the film? And if people say, oh, we're just going to go to the festival circuit, I'm like, that's not a marketing plan, that's just a hope and a dream.
It is hard for independent producers, obviously, who are not born with a silver spoon in their mouth, to get good advice on independent film financing early on.
There are set percentages for different territories if your film qualifies. So you're looking first, is this a film that qualifies under the output deals? And there are different exclusions, things like animated films or low-budget films, different components that might make it not qualify under our output deals.
It is quite common where we have private equity investors who are sometimes fully financing films, that we start with the bond company. Towards the end they go, why do we need the bond company? And you go, well, for the reasons I told you, it's really like you have no idea how to produce a film, and at least there's somebody making sure, you know, that you're not going to be totally taken advantage of. They're not going to guarantee quality, but they're going to guarantee the likelihood of the film being completed.
You guys all have banks. You expect your money to be there when you go to withdraw it, right? Reasonable assumption. Well, in order to do that, banks can't take that much risk. I mean, just think about it personally. Would you want me going and making a loan to with your money, because it's depositor's money, with an unbonded film? It's not enough risk reward in that, right? For if I was to tell you, hey, depositor, you're going to get 10% and we think it's going to be okay, you probably still shouldn't do it. But
Right.
that said, at least there's an upside for you, right? And our point of view is we just here to represent our depositors, and that's not risk we would take.
We've been talking all about financing. We've been talking about bringing those pieces of the puzzle together. What we find is that when we do these conferences, there are a lot of questions that are related to production documentation, chain of title, E&O, all that sort of thing. So what we started doing is adding this as the very last thing of the day, so that we can have a discussion about all of these issues, and it can be sort of an open forum for this stuff. But it's also important in terms of how financings are done.